Hello everyone, welcome to English Literature by Arya. So in this video lecture, we are going to cover our short story A Stench of Kerosene by Amrita Pritam. She is an Indian writer, novelist, poet and essayist. Before going to know about the story, let us have a brief look about the writer Amrita Pritam. She was born in 31st August 1919 in traditional Sikh family and died on 31st October 2005. She wrote in Punjabi and Hindi languages. She was honored with prestigious awards like Sahitya Academy, Bharatiya Janpad, Padma Vibhushan and Punjab Ratna Award. Her work often touched on themes of love, loss and the struggle of women in society. Now have a look on main character of the story, Guleri. She is the central character and the wife of the abusive husband. Her character embodies the struggles and suffering of women in a patriarchal society. Manak, he have lack of understanding towards Guleri's feelings, showcase the toxic dynamics of their relationship. And the another main character of the story is mother-in-law. Her character reflects the traditional beliefs that often bind women to their roles as submissive wives and mothers. Now have a look on the themes of the story. Pain of domestic violence, societal expectation and the struggle of women in a patriarchal society, ancient tradition. Main symbol of the story, helplessness. It shows the feeling of being trapped, kerosene, lack of support for women who suffer in silence, fluid, symbol of joy. So basically it is the story of suffering and injustice in rural areas. Now let's know the gist of the story. Guleri and Manak are loving couple. Manak plays flute, Guleri likes it. Flute becomes symbol of joy in their life. Guleri cannot give birth to a child. They have been married over 7 years. Guleri went to her mom during harvest season. When Guleri went to her parents' home, Manak's mother forced her son to marry another woman. Manak married another woman. Guleri felt very sad when she got to know about it and poured kerosene over her body and lit fire to herself. She is dead. After hearing the news, Manak felt very sad. After Guleri's death, Manak lives like a dead man. There is no smile in his eyes and no charms in his face. Guleri failed to give Manak's family a son even after waiting for 7 years. Second wife gave birth to a son. Whenever she brings her son to Manak's, he get foul smell, stench of kerosene. So he used to say, take him away. Now we will discuss about the summary of this story. The story is set in a very small village in rural India. The main character of the story are Guleri, Manak and his mother. Manak and Guleri have been married for over 7 years and in spite of being married for so long, they do not have a child. Every year during the time of the harvest, Guleri goes back to her hometown Chamba to visit her family. So this particular time of the year when Guleri is away visiting her family in Chamba, Manak's mother, she looks for another woman for Manak because Guleri is unable to conceive a child and Manak's mother is very keen on having a grandchild. So Manak very obediently gets married to this new woman. Manak and his new wife, they have a son and his mother is very overwhelmed. Meanwhile in Chamba, when Guleri gets to know of this new marriage, she sets herself on fire by pouring kerosene on herself. After a few months, Manak learns of this incident through one of his friends and he gets very depressed and guilty. The story ends with Manak's dialogue, take him away and his stinks of kerosene. He says this when his son is placed in his lap. This is because he might be reminded of the fact that Guleri is no longer in the world and no longer in his life because he did not object to this new marriage and he did not stand for himself. So from the story we see that Amrita Pritam has thrown light on the injustice that women face in our country, specifically in the rural areas through many instances. In the story, she has described the Indian culture and typical Indian mentality. If we have a husband-wife relationship in our society, we see that mother-in-law always has some kind of interference in the relationship. This interference may always not be intentional, but whatever it is definitely has an impact on the relationship and not in a good way. Even in the story, the mother-in-law was the one taking decision in the family. Manak was not even asked once if he was alright with the idea of a second marriage. Like he was kind of ordered to get married again by his mother's choice. The second thing in the story which we see is that women after marriage they are expected to be ideal wives and ideal daughter-in-laws. All what is expected from them is to do household work, to cook, to run after the husband and mother-in-law, and of course most importantly to have a children. Women are rejected if they do not have children or if they do not have the son basically. That's all about the short story, The Stench of Kerosene. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video then take a moment to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get timely notification about the new content. Thank you.